Resilient minds, active voices, democratic futures. Welcome to YouthWell, the podcast where young people and experts come together to inspire change.
Welcome to this podcast. Today, let's talk about mental health. We will discuss mental well-being and how it affects young people. My name is Andrea Nunes and I'm your host. Today, we are joined by Catarina Ferreira, a psychologist, Marcos Almeida, a youth worker who supports young people in their well-being, and Anna, a young person who can share a perspective. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Andrea. My name is Catarina and I'm a psychologist. Mental health is such an important topic, especially for young people, so I'm glad we are having this conversation.
Yeah, I agree with Catarina. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna. I'm 28 years old, and I'm really glad to be here. I think mental health issues are something that a lot of young people deal with, but don't always know how to talk about.
Absolutely. My name is Marcos. I'm a youth worker, and in my work, I see so many people struggling with mental health, and I think conversation can help break the stigma.
It is really nice to have all of you here. Thank you. Let's start with a simple question. What does mental health mean to you?
Mental health is about emotional, physiological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and behave in daily life.
As a youth worker, I see mental health as a foundation for young people's success. Good mental health help them to develop resilience, manage stress, and engage society.
For me, mental health is about balance, finding ways to cope with work, relationships, and personal struggles.
That balance is often difficult to achieve. What do you think are some common mental health issues young people face today?
Anxiety and depression are the most common. Social pressure, academic stress, and concerns about the future can contribute to these conditions.
I've heard that social media plays a huge role. It creates unrealistic expectations and can lead to low self-esteem.
Yeah, I agree. Social media plays a significant role. Young people are constantly comparing themselves to others and feel pressure to meet unrealistic standards. There's also academic pressure, worrying about the future, and to impact global issues like climate change. All these factors contribute to anxiety and depression.
Anna, have you or your peers faced any of these challenges?
Yeah, definitely. Many of my friends struggle with anxiety when dealing with work or personal issues. Sometimes they don't know who to talk to. And it's true that social media does not help a lot in this sense, as everything seems perfect there. No one has problems in social media. It's like there's this constant pressure to be successful or happy, but sometimes you just don't feel that way.
That's really valid, Anna. And a lot of young people don't have the tools to manage stress and emotions. That's where mental health education and support systems come in. We need more safe spaces where young people can express themselves without judgment.
That's a great point, Marcos. How do you think youth organizations and communities can support young people in talking about mental health?
We need safe spaces where young people can talk freely without judgment. Support groups, workshops, and mental health education in schools can be very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Catarina, why is there still a stigma around mental health and how can we break it?
There's a lot of misinformation and fear of being judged. Open conversations, education, and showing that mental health is just as important as physical health can help reduce stigma.
Absolutely. Anna, as a young person, what would make it easier for young people to talk about their mental health?
Maybe if more people were open about their struggles, it would feel normal to talk about it. Also, knowing that we won't be judged or dismissed makes a big difference.
Talking now about social media. Catarina, what impact does social media have on young people's mental health and how can they navigate in a healthy way?
Social media is a double-edged sword. On one end, it can provide community and support, but on the other, it can also create unrealistic expectations and feel like you don't fit in. On one way to navigate this is by cleaning your feed, following accounts that inspire and uplift you rather than those that make you feel worse about yourself. Also, setting screen time limit can help.
Yeah, I noticed that when I stopped following certain influencers who made me feel bad about my body or my lifestyle, I started feeling better. Social media should be a tool, not a source of stress.
Exactly. And let's not forget digital detoxes. Taking breaks from social media altogether can really help clear your mind.
That's a great tip. Katerina, what signs should young people and their families look out for?
Changes in behavior, withdrawal from activities, mood swings, sleeping too much or too little, and difficult concentrating can all be signs of mental distress.
Everyone should pay attention to all that. And what about young people? How can they recognize signs of anxiety and depression and take action?
Common signs of anxiety can include excessive worrying and difficult sleeping. Depression, on the other hand, often involves persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities, and fatigue. If you notice these signs, you, in yourself or a friend, don't ignore them. Talk to someone, whether it is a trusted adult, a counselor, or a mental health professional.
I wish I had known that earlier. I used to think I was just being lazy when I had no energy to do anything, but it was really a sign of depression. Talking to a psychologist really helped me understand what was going on.
That's so important. Also, peer support is key. If you notice a friend without drawing or struggling, check in on them. Just letting them know you're there can make a big difference.
That's a great point, Marcos. What role do schools and communities play in supporting young people's mental health?
Schools can do a lot of by providing mental health education, having trained psychologists, and creating environments where students feel safe to talk about their struggles. Community programs like youth centers and support groups also play a huge role in providing safe spaces for young people.
I completely agree. The more we normalize mental health conversations in schools and communities, the more young people will feel comfortable seeking help.
Great insights. Now, let's look at some real life examples of struggles that are common nowadays. First one, and I really think this is a struggle many young people face nowadays. Joanna, 22 years old, recently graduated from university and feels lost about her future. She struggles with anxiety about job hunting and feels pressure from her family to succeed. What advice would you give her?
Joanna should break her concerns into manageable steps. Seeking career counseling, networking, and setting small, realistic goals can reduce anxiety.
It's important for her to know she's not alone. Many young people go through this transition period, and talking to mentors or peers can be reassuring.
I tell her that success is an instant. Taking time to explore options and finding what she truly enjoys is okay.
That's a very healthy perspective, Anna. Many young people feel rushed to figure everything out, but personal growth takes time. Learning to be patient with yourself is a key to mental well-being.
And schools and youth organizations can play a big role by emphasizing the importance of personal development rather than just achievements. Encouraging young people to explore different paths without pressures can be incredibly beneficial.
That's an important message. Now, let's continue with another example. Miguel, 27 years old, works full-time but feels burned out. He has difficulty balancing work, social life, and self-care. He experiences frequent stress and feels exhausted.
Burnout is serious. Miguel should establish clear boundaries between work and personal time, practice self-care, and seek professional support if needed.
Employers and the organization should promote mental well-being. He could look into workplace wellness programs or talk to human resources about workload concerns.
I felt this way before. Taking times and engaging in activities that bring you joy can make a difference.
It really makes a difference, Anna. Burnout really is a hot topic nowadays. Katerina, could you explain what burnout is and why it's such a concern for young people today?
Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. It's often linked to overwork, lack of control, or feeling disconnected from one work or purpose. For young people, burnout is a growing issue due to academic pressure, social expectations, and the overwhelming presence of social media, which can create a constant feeling of comparison or not fitting in.
I felt burnout, especially during school exams when I was younger. It's like you're constantly trying but never feeling good enough no matter what. I'd spend hours studying and I still felt like I wasn't prepared. I was always feeling exhausted emotionally and physically, like I couldn't keep up with everything.
That must have been really difficult for you. What do you think are the main causes of burnout for young people? Marcos, can you shed some light on this from a youth worker's perspective?
Yeah. From my experience, burnout among young people is often linked to societal expectations, whether it's academic success, social media pressures, or family demands. Many young people feel like they need to excel in everything. Additionally, part-time jobs or trying to balance multiple roles can add more stress. What's crucial in the lack of downtime? There's no real opportunity to rest, which leads to emotional exhaustion.
Katarina, would you say that social media plays a significant role in causing burnout?
Absolutely. Social media makes young people constantly compare themselves to perfect versions of other people's lives. The pressure to appear perfect and achieve success all the time can make them feel like they are failing if they don't live up to these standards. This constant exposure adds to stress, contributing to burnout.
I remember now about the stigma around mental health. I think COVID-19 brought us new positive perspectives of the importance of psychology. But I feel that there's still a big stigma around mental health, with some people telling only crazy people go to a psychologist.
COVID-19 brought a big focus on mental health, which more people acknowledged the importance of physical well-being. The isolation, uncertainty, and stress from the pandemic led many to seek help. However, while there is more awareness, there's still a long way to go in terms of removing the stigma. People still associate mental health issues with weakness or craziness, which make them not wanting to out. The shift has been positive, but there's still hesitation due to these deep-rooted societal beliefs.
Anna, do you think the stigma still exists among your peers, or has the pandemic changed how people view mental health supports?
I think the stigma is decreasing, especially with the influencers and public figures opening up about their own struggles. But it's still there. Some of my friends feel like therapy is only for people who are really messed up or crazy, just like you said. I've personally found it helpful. I think the pandemic has made more people realize that we all need to take care of our mental health, but the judgment still exists in small ways. It's a process of normalizing it.
Marcos, you work closely with young people. What do you think could be done to encourage more young people to access mental health service without feeling ashamed or embarrassed?
I think one of the most important things is to continue the conversation in spaces where young people feel safe. Schools, youth centers, and online platforms are great places to spread awareness and make seeking help seem like a normal, healthy option. When young people see others, whether it's celebrities or peers, openly talking about therapy, it helps to break down the barriers. I think we also need to offer more accessible resources like low-cost counseling or peer support groups, which can reduce the financial and social barriers.
Let's hope more people start looking at mental health from a positive perspective. Now, a last example to discuss. Sophia, 29 years old, has been struggling with feelings of loneliness after moving to a new city. She finds it difficult to make new friends and feels isolated.
Sophia should try joining local clubs, attending community events, or engaging in activities she enjoys to meet like-minded people.
Yes, I agree. I'll had volunteering or taking up a hobby. I think this can also help her build a support network and create meaningful connections.
I have a friend that moved away recently, and she said it takes time, but also putting herself out there and staying open to new experiences helps.
Indeed, in that case, being open to new experience helps when moving out to a strange place. Katarina, what do you think are some practical ways young people can take care of their mental health?
Self-care doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as getting enough sleep, in eating nutritious meals, moving your body, and setting boundaries. A good daily routine can really improve mental well-being. Also, disconnect from social media for a while can help too.
I started taking daily walks and realized how much it helps me clear my mind. Also, listening to music that makes me feel good has been a game changer.
Those are great ideas. I'd also say practicing gratitude. Writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day can shift your mindset in a positive way.
Fantastic insights. Before we finish, what final message would you like to leave with our listeners?
Your mental health matters just as much as your physical health. Prioritize it. Seek help when you need it, and remember that you are not alone.
I'd say don't be afraid to talk about how you're feeling. It might feel scary, but it can make a huge difference.
And that support each other, check in on your friends, listen without judgment, and create a culture where talking about mental health is normal.
Beautifully said. Thank you all for sharing your insights and experiences today. And to our listeners, remember, you are not alone. Keep the conversation going and take care of your mental health. Goodbye and have a nice day.